Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. So earlier in the day today, I went over the remaining House races that have not been called yet in California, and at 3, I went over the House races in Iowa and Ohio. There are still 2 remaining House races that have yet to been called yet, and both of them are actually in pretty similar situations. These are the states of Maine and Alaska. So the reason Maine and Alaska have not been called yet, aside from being really close, both of these states utilize the ranked choice voting vote system. So what that means is for a candidate to win these races, they have to get 50% of the vote or more to be crowned the winner of the race. And in both instances, the leading candidate right now is currently under 50% of the vote, which is why the races have not been called yet. So I'm going to go over both of these races and show you where the votes are right now, where things stand, and what will happen going forward. So I'm going to start first with the state of Alaska. Alaska does not have any map information on the New York Times site to go over, so I can't use that, but it does have the voting percentages, which says with over 94% of the vote in, right now the Republican Nick Begich has 49%, the Democrat Mary Peltola has 45.9%. So that's where things stand right now in Alaska with the vote totals. And when you look at the remaining vote, with 6% of the vote left to go, that would be about roughly, based on the votes that have already been reported, the 297,272. Trying to estimate what the vote would be, it would be somewhere around 17 to 18,000 votes left to go in Alaska. So that margin right now, Begich has a lead of about maybe 9,000 votes or so, a 9,000 vote lead over Peltola right now. That 17 to 18,000 votes that remain, there are enough votes for Peltola to actually take the lead over Begich. But for that to happen, she would have to win about 60 to 65% of the remaining votes in order to do so, which is not very likely to happen at this time. And even if she did, she has a bigger problem, which is that, as I mentioned, in the ranked choice voting system, if no candidate receives 50% of the vote, the race will be decided by ranked choice voting. In this process, the candidate who has received the fewest votes is eliminated from the race, and any votes for that candidate are instead counted for the voter's second choice candidate. The final tabulation will take place on November 20th. Alaskans are also considering a ballot measure that would end ranked choice voting. So that's very, very fascinating as well. They're considering getting rid of this, so that's interesting. So as New York Times writer and reporter Camille Baker said, the ranked choice voting process still needs to play out. And unless there's a massive vote swing one way or the other, it's going to go to ranked choice voting. Neither Nick Begich, the Republican challenger, or Mary Peltola, the Democratic incumbent, are going to be able to break 50% of the vote. So this will go to ranked choice voting. And as she said, it'll be on November 20th. And this is how it's going to go. First, we're going to have the write-in votes. If there's a second choice, that is going to be added to Begich and Peltola's totals. And it's only 655 votes, 0.2%. It's very unlikely that there will be enough votes to add to either candidate that will get them over 50%. So then that candidate's eliminated, the votes are added, then it goes up to the next candidate, which is Eric Hafner. He is a Democrat, the Democratic Party, so we can expect most of the 1% that Eric Hafner got are going to go to Mary Peltola. This will probably get her up to probably like 47% of the vote or so in the ranked choice voting. So then at that point, it'll be a little over 49 for Begich, a little over or under 47 for Peltola. That will not be enough. Then it will go to John Wayne Howe, the Alaskan Independents. His votes, his 3.9%, will be taken away, and the second choice voters will then go from there. And Alaskan Independents, I'm not too familiar with the party, but right now Begich starts off with about a 4 to 3 point lead over Mary Peltola. It's looking more and more likely in ranked choice voting. Nick Begich will probably hold on and win this race. My estimate for how the ranked choice is going to end is probably Begich at like 51-49, maybe 52-48. I don't think it's going to be a massive win one way or the other. I think it's going to be very, very close. But I do think the 3.9% obviously mathematically will end the ranked choice voting, and one of these candidates will be the winner. But the fact is, given that he's already at 49%, Peltola's at 45.9%, there's more of a chance that Begich would win just due to the numbers that have been done so far. It's easier for Begich to reach 50, where he only needs to get another 1% of the vote. Peltola needs to get 4.1% to reach 50, and there's at least one candidate that could be either a Republican or Democrat. And so that's going to be something to watch for on the ranked choice voting. But this video is coming out November 16th, so you're only going to have to wait 4 more days till November 20th to find out. I may do a video updating when that happens to get our final result, but I would expect Nick Begich to hold on and win here. Now for the state of Maine. Maine is absolutely fascinating. So Jared Golden, the Democratic incumbent, represents Maine's 2nd district. And just for some clarity here, on the presidential race, Maine's 2nd district voted for Donald Trump by about 9%, 53 to 44. It is becoming a likely Republican district, and yet Jared Golden, the Democrat, has been representing this district for a long time now. He's been representing it, I think, since either 2018 or 2016, and he has a lead in this district of 49.9 to 49.7. And the way Maine shows its congressional map, it goes by town, not by county in the second map. So this is going to take a while to go over every single district. So for the sake of this video, I'm actually going to just look at the size of the lead instead of doing each individual town, because that would really take forever if I did that. But so I'm going to look at some of the areas where the circles are slightly larger. All these little dots around the map are all areas where there's votes coming out of this district. And when you look at Maine's numbers, there have been over 387,977 votes cast in Maine, in the 2nd district in Maine. And right now, with estimated 95% of the vote in, let's say there's about 5% of the vote remaining in this district. That would account for about 19,398 votes, if I did my math correctly, based on the numbers that have come in so far. So, with that said, is there enough votes out there right now for Golden or Theriault to get over 50% of the vote? Yes, there is. Is it going to happen? That remains to be seen, but there is enough votes outstanding if all the votes came in at 5% left to get over 50%. Will it, though, is the question. Because right now, we're over 95% in. This race right now is a 700 vote difference for Golden over Theriault, the Republican challenger. This is a very, very incredibly close race that likely right now, if the vote counting, if there's no more votes left to go, then it would go to a ranked choice voting system again, where the total write-in votes would go away, and then the second choices would go to either Golden or Theriault. And based on the numbers right now, Theriault only needs 0.6% to reach 50%, or Golden, needs 0.6%. Theriault needs about 0.25%. Both are very, very close, and it could happen for either one. But at just 0.6%, I think it's more likely Golden gets the votes he needs and gets over 50% and narrowly holds on and wins this race. But this one is so incredibly close. Yes, Golden was elected in 2016 and 2020. He frequently breaks with the Democratic Party and courting with Republican voters. He faces his toughest challenge yet from Republican Austin Theriault, a state representative in Maine and former NASCAR driver who was endorsed by Donald Trump. So this is a very, very close race. Looking at some areas here, we have Auburn District 1 having about 11,000 votes total, but a 60-40 lead for Golden. Lewiston, Maine, 6139, 95% in, that was a lead for Golden. Augusta, Maine, capital of the state, of course, 5940, a lead for Golden. Looking at Belfast, a smaller county, but 7227, lead for Golden. Lincolnville, 6832. Right here, Bar Harbor, 7722, a lead for Golden. Bangor, Maine, one of the largest cities in Maine. Bangor's going to be about 6337 for Golden over Theriault. And then we have also lots of Republican areas as well throughout here, like Newport and Corinna and Dexter. As you get towards close to the New Hampshire side, down here, this area is all District 1. This is where a lot of the people in the state live. But we also have some votes out of like Sabattis, and we also have some votes out of Turner. There are so many towns in Maine. You go through all of them, it would take a long time. But all these smaller towns and areas, these votes add up. And as you can see, there's so many of them. There's only a few hundreds of thousands of votes in these areas, but they all add up. And Theriault's been doing very well in them, where right now it's just a difference of 0.2% in this race. So this is a very, very close race. Ranked choice voting right now, it's looking like pretty likely it's going to go to ranked choice voting. But again, we're going to have to wait and see on that. New York Times reporter Francesca Paris said, Maine uses ranked choice voting, which allows voters to select multiple candidates in order of preference. Because the race is so close, officials are bringing ballots to the state capitol for a second round of tabulation. If a voter's first choice was a write-in candidate or left blank, that ballot will now be reallocated to a second choice candidate. If the voter marked one, the process will take some time. So unlike Alaska, we're going to know Alaska in 4 days. This district is so close in Maine, as I mentioned, the retabulating the votes. This might go on for a little while as it's such a close race. So we may not get an immediate answer in the time being, but all these smaller areas adding up for Theriault getting up to 49.75%, Jared Golden getting 49.94%, an incredibly close race in Maine with a long way to go. Probably not going to know the answer on this one for a while. This is super, super, super close. And also, just again, to show you one more time, Donald Trump did win this district right here, CD2, 95% in by 9 points. Donald Trump got 53.2%. Kamala Harris got 44.2%, which means Theriault is running about 4 points or so behind what Trump was doing. Golden is running at 49.94. He is running stronger than what Harris was able to get. I'm trying to find the right one. Here's Golden is running about 6 points, almost more what Kamala Harris got. So a very, very close race, one to watch for in the 2nd district. So that's the House of Representatives right now. I've gone over every race that is still yet to be called. And again, obviously I did Maine and Alaska. Alaska will be finding out in 4 days how this race is going to go. Maine might take a little bit longer, so we're going to wait and see how these races go. In the meantime, that'll do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like if you really liked it. Please click subscribe if you really enjoyed it. And make sure you tell all your friends to subscribe to my channel. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you in a future video. That will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a like. And if you really liked it, please remember to click the subscribe button. And make sure you turn post notifications on so you always get notified when I post a new video. That way you never miss one. Also, please remember to share this video with your friends and family if you really, really, really like the video. And remember to stay tuned because I'll be posting at least one video every single day leading up until Election Day. So I'd really appreciate it if you keep coming back and watching those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.